Yo, what's up everyone, OOfro here, and today we are going to be talking about the next Clash Royale update. For you guys that do not know, Clash Royale tweeted out, just had a great idea, a spirit, but it poisons enemies. Poison spirit. Can't believe no one thought of this before. Now obviously they were joking when they said this, but it got me thinking about the next Clash Royale update and what could be in it. So today we're going to be talking about 3 update ideas, and yo, I really hope you guys want to enjoy this video. If you guys do, make sure you guys leave a like. Leaving a like really helps out the channel, it lets me know you guys enjoy the videos, and it supports me. Also while you're down there, if you could subscribe, that'd be awesome. And without any further delay, let's hop right into it. So starting off with my first update idea, it's actually the Shield Maiden. For you guys that do not know, the Shield Maiden is already a card inside Clash Mini, which is another Supercell game, and the concept for the Shield Maiden is very cool, and it could definitely work inside Clash Royale very easily. So I'm going to explain the card to you and show you some gameplay of what she does. So first of all, let's talk about her rarity. I think she would be a champion because she would be so good and unique. I made some concept art of what the card would look like, and you guys can see she has a 1 elixir shield ability. I will talk about that more in a second. But just to give you guys an idea of her stats, again, this is what I think they would look like. A very tanky unit, and also does pretty low damage. But what makes her special is that 1 elixir ability, the shield. Now in Clash Mini, pretty much her ability makes her stand still, she goes invincible, and she actually reflects attacks. If you guys focus on the Archer Queen is shooting her, it's hitting the shield, and it's actually bouncing back and hitting the Archer Queen. And I believe she could do something very similar inside Clash Royale, where she would stop moving, she would hold her ground, and she would just reflect attacks. Obviously not for a long time, otherwise that would be broken, but even for like 3 seconds, that is huge. She would be protecting your support troops and doing her job as a tank. This would also lead to a situation where she would just work in a ton of different decks. For example, she would work in Graveyard. She just crosses the bridge, you put down a Graveyard, you can use her ability, and boom, she's tanking for the Graveyard and reflecting the tower's own attacks. Like I said, the concept for the Shield Maiden I think is very cool, and it could be very easily implemented into Clash Royale without breaking the game. And just going back to the stats, you guys can see I gave her 5,000 hit points and does 300 damage. You might think that's a lot of hit points or a lot of damage, but if we compare that to a P.E.K.K.A also has 5,000 hit points and does 1,000 damage. But again, the thing that would make the Shield Maiden special is that 1 elixir ability. So moving on to my next idea, and this is actually a building idea. We have common building, we have rare buildings, we have epic buildings, but we do not have a legendary building. We have legendary troops, we have legendary spells, but we do not have legendary buildings. So there's definitely something missing there, and I believe the legendary building should be an Ice Wizard Tower. Again, I made some concept art, and pretty much the cool thing about the Ice Wizard Tower is it would shoot ground and air like the normal Ice Wizard. It's a building, so troops that attack buildings will walk towards it, but when it expires, it actually drops an Ice Wizard. Again, I think this is just a very cool defensive building, and of course the legendary building dropping a legendary troop just seems very logical. This wouldn't replace the Ice Wizard either, there would definitely still be uses for the Ice Wizard. For example, this building would not be good in Splash Yard, but there are definitely decks out there that I can see this being used in. A lot of decks use the Bomb Tower, and I think the big problem with the Bomb Tower is it doesn't shoot air. Of course, so the trade-off is that the Bomb Tower does a lot of damage to ground units. The Ice Wizard Tower wouldn't do a lot of damage to stuff, but it would slow them down and it would hit air. That's kind of like where this niche is. Again, a very cool concept and something I think Supercell should definitely play around with, and really I just think it would be a good addition to the game. Nothing too game breaking, but just nice to have. And then for my third idea, this one's a bit wacky and out there, but hear it out. The first champion spell, the shield spell. Now the idea of this spell is it would put a force field around your troops or your building, and pretty much it counters any spell that comes towards it. For example, let's say your opponent's trying to rocket your tower, you would drop the shield spell on your tower and boom, the rocket no longer does damage. Now the reason why I think this would be so cool is because it would help a lot of archetypes and fix a big problem with the game. A big problem with the game is people rocket cycling you, and the worst thing about rocket cycle is there's very little counterplay to it. Right now there's no way of stopping that rocket hitting your tower, so this spell would allow counterplay to happen. On top of that, let's say you're running 3 musketeers. You drop down 3 musketeers, people's normal reaction is they fireball zap it or they fireball log it. Again, you drop your 3 musketeers, you play this shield spell, suddenly they can't fireball zap your 3 musketeers. They either have to wait or they have to think about something else to do because you countered their play. This would be one of those cards that's easy to use but hard to master, which I think is very good for a game like Clash Royale. You want to be able to make a play and then you want to be able to counter what your opponent does. As well, I'm putting this at champion rarity. So you're going to be using this instead of an Archer Queen, instead of a Mighty Miner, instead of a Skeleton King. You can only have one champion in a deck, and just like any card in Clash Royale, they could tweak some stuff about it and make it balanced. But yeah, those are my 3 update ideas I have. Supercell, I know you're watching, feel free to use any of it. Let me know what you guys think about my ideas in the comment section. Do you think they're good? Do you think they're trash? Let me know. And if you think they're bad, what would you change? When Supercell are doing updates, they look at videos like this as well. So if you guys have any of your own ideas you want to see in an update, again, leave them in the comment section. I'm sure Supercell are watching. But yo, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys have, make sure you guys leave a like. Of course, subscribe if you have not already. And as always, make sure you guys take care, brush your hair, and peace out. Woo!